It is so early. It is 4:41 a.m. I'm going to be moisturizing with the Beauty by Pop Sugar Lip Save. This video is going to be the same routine that I wore in Chicago for Luster's Pink. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I just went on a trip with Luster Pink. So on the first day, I knew that I didn't want to be touching up on my makeup. Well, really no day do I want to touch up on my makeup, but I only do this routine on special occasions and parties. Those are the only 2 times that I do this routine. This is the best way that I've found to make my makeup last all day without having any touch-ups or anything. So I'm going to be showing you guys that today. So the first thing you want to do is start with a long wearing foundation or a foundation that has a thin texture. So the reason why it's either long wear or thin texture is because I can change, or you can change with a setting powder, a thin foundation into a more matte finish with setting powders, or with a long wear foundation, it just is long wearing. So if you're using a foundation that has more of a thicker consistency and maybe harder to set down, it's not impossible. You can do it the same way, but it's easier when it's either a long wear foundation or thin. I want to interject something before we go any further. So some people say primers help the longevity of foundation. I completely agree. I also think that if you have a foundation, you use setting powders, and you set it the way that I'm about to show you, it will wear the exact same. What is necessary, open your ears for this, what is necessary is that if you have oily skin, you want to make sure that you're moisturizing your skin. Just because you have oily skin does not mean that your skin does not need moisture. So if you're not moisturizing your skin, you're basically making your skin have to overcompensate for you not having that moisture into your skin. So do not skip out on the moisturizing step, even if you have oily skin. So for this routine, I have a moisturizer that I use that is more of an oily texture, and then I have one that sinks into my skin a lot better. For this routine, I will definitely go for the moisturizer that sinks in, because guess what? It moisturizes and it doesn't sit on top of the skin, so that's not something that I have to worry about making me oily throughout the day. So my favorite moisturizer for my thinnest moisturizer, as well as giving me moisture, is the Drunken Elephant Lala Retro Whipped Cream Moisturizer. You guys hear me talk about this a lot on my channel. I love this moisturizer. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of this and then kind of dot it all over my face just to make sure it's everywhere. We'll dot it on the areas and then just rub it in. So now my skin feels really moisturized, but it doesn't look overbearing as far as the oiliness. So that's very important. On the first step is you want to make sure that you're not using an oily moisturizer, and it's your decision on the primer. Next, we're moving on to the foundation. I kind of already explained that. So for the foundation that I'm going to pick today, I'm actually going to pick the more thinner consistency foundation, which is the Koh Gen Do Aqua foundation. So the reason why I choose the Koh Gen Do foundation, because number one, it has a thin formula, and number two, it does not have flashback. So I can wear this in photos and not have to worry about it. And it's just awesome. It's one of my favorite foundations. And I just apply this like normal. No special way to apply your foundation, however you want. Sponge, brush, fingers, however. So another thing with foundations, less is more. So the more foundation you pile on, the more creamier I guess it gets, and the more likely you are to, number one, crease, and number two, get oily earlier throughout the day. Start small and build up until you get in the routine of knowing exactly how much to pump out to get the amount that you want on your face. Okay, so now you're probably looking at my face and you're like, that looks super shiny. Why isn't she using a matte foundation if she wants her foundation to last throughout the day? I find that sometimes matte foundations make my skin look too like I'm wearing foundation, or it's either on that side of the spectrum, or it is drier and I still want moisture to my skin. So just because you have oily skin does not mean that you can't wear dewy foundations. I wear whatever foundation that I want. I just set it the correct way, or my correct way. So I actually like having a more moisturizing base because when I set it, it looks more of a natural, healthy finish. So this next step, this is definitely preference. You can either stop here, bring the foundation higher underneath your eyes to cover. You can do highlighting concealer, or you can choose a concealer that's your skin tone to conceal additional areas on your face. But you want to make sure that you do all of your cream steps before you move on to the setting powder step. Once you've decided on whether or not you want to bring the foundation up or you want to use concealer, then you just want to set it. I like to use the BenNye Banana powder for this routine because it does not cause flashback for me and it looks nice on my skin. But the main thing is that it doesn't cause flashback. And I'm just setting it like normal. I'm using my Sigma tapered highlighter brush, which is the F35. And this is the brush that I use to set my concealer. Now, if you have smile lines that crease, my foundation base is a lot better when I'm not talking while I'm doing my makeup, because when I'm talking while I'm wearing my makeup, I'm really not giving my foundation a chance to sit in my smile lines. And so I just find that it looks a lot better when I'm not talking. Sometimes the foundation just creases just because it creases, but for this specific one, I found that when I don't talk before I set it, it makes a huge difference. So I would recommend, if you can, don't talk to people while you're letting your foundation set, and then just kind of set in your smile lines. And I like this powder because even though I'm applying this powder in an odd area, it's not going to give me flashback. However, to make sure that you don't have to worry about that, I will set there and also kind of bring the powder back a little bit, so it's not like it's right here. It's not like it's two stripes, just in case. Just in case. So now that we have our foundation set, this looks pretty normal. Looks like my normal videos, normal routine as to what I do. But here's the second step. So I go in with a sponge. This is the Shop Miss A sponge, my latest love. And so I take this sponge, I dip into the powder, and I press right next to my nose. And I do this because that's the first area that tends to get oily on me. So I'm basically baking, but I'm not doing that as my first step, because if I do that as my first step, sometimes the powder will apply patchy. So if I go ahead and get a nice smooth layer of the powder first, which is my normal routine, and then I go in and I strategically press the powder into my areas that get oily, it's a whole lot better for me. Or into my areas that crease, because I'm going to press this into my smile lines as well. Then on top of my nose gets oily, so I'm pressing that in. And my forehead gets a bit oily, so we're pressing that in. And then at this point, I will do my next step, which is my brows. And then right after my brows, we do the next step. So be right back. Okay, now I'm going to just dust away the powder. So right after I dust away that powder, I go in with one of the best products invented. I don't really show this on my channel because I only use it for special occasions, like I said, for this routine, and that is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Definitely is all nighter when you spray this on your face. So I spray this all over, basically soaking my face, and I let that dry. And I spray a lot more than necessary just because I get a little heavy-handed. You only need 2 to 4 sprays according to them, but I spray a lot until my face is coated the way that I want it to be coated. Then after it's dry, I will go in and do my eyeshadow. So next time you see me, I'll have on eyeshadow. Okay, so after you finish your eyeshadow, you want to go back in with the spray and spray one more time. So after you spray it the second time, you're pretty much locked in for the rest of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you were able to at least get one new thing that you can add to your routine when you want your foundation to last throughout the day. Make sure that you click the subscribe button down below and thumbs up. And I promise I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.